Tease next week's edition of Hard Knocks with a clip of Giants coach Brian Daboll endorsing an attempt to trade up from number 6 to land quarterback Jayden Daniels. Then when that didn't work, we see general manager Joe Schoen telling Daboll and the coaches that they're going to stick with Daniel as in Jones and they're going to get him a weapon. So they took Malik Neighbors at 6. So Keyshawn, are the Giants now quote unquote stuck with Daniel Jones?
What is stuck with, Skip? This season, next season, 5 seasons from now? This season, yeah, they stuck with it. There's nothing they can do. I mean, they gave him $98 million, $92 million of guaranteed money on a 4-year deal. So that money will be all gone, the guarantee side of it. When you get to beyond 2024, this is a crucial year for Daniel Jones if he wants to remain a New York Giant. There's no question about it. When they get to 2025, they could part ways with him if they decide, hey, there's a better option in this situation. This isn't 10 years ago in the National Football League where people were afraid to take blows to the salary cap. They'll do it in a heartbeat nowadays. If you're not playing well and you have a high cap number and it's going to hurt the cap, they'll say bye-bye because the cap continues to keep going up every year. And all they'll do is make some adjustments. It'll sound big because it's a large cap number, but in the grand scheme of things, it won't affect the roster at all. And I think that their thought process, when they looked at Jayden Daniels and they said to themselves, you damn right we'll trade up. We'll do it right now. But it was too high. Now, if he would have fell down somewhere, kept falling, then, yeah, you move up to go get him. But
Washington took him at 2.
Yeah, if you go to 2, that's like going to 1. It's the same package that you're going to have to give up to go to 1 to get a guy like that. They liked him at the time that they made the decision. They didn't love him. They liked him. But as I always say, what other options do you have at the quarterback position when you have a quarterback on your team that helped you go to the playoffs and win a game on the road against a Minnesota team that, you know, what do you have? So now you say, okay, well, we're forced and we're faced to have to make a decision on the running back in Saquon Barkley versus the quarterback and Daniel Jones. Both had hit some injury issues. What do? Me, for my money, I would have gave my money to Saquon Barkley because I could always, in my opinion, find me a Daniel Jones-type quarterback somewhere in the universe. Even if it's a Geno Smith that I could put back there for a couple years, I could always do that at a lesser number. They made that decision because they didn't have enough data on him when they took over. And he happened to play well the year that they got there. So now you go, okay, we just got this guy. He's not our guy, but we can give him a below-market deal, and let's see if he grows with our offense over the next couple years. And if not, we'll go find a guy. So I think 2025, if he doesn't play well this year, is probably his last year.
Yeah, I mean, they're not locked into him past this year. I was shocked at all the pearl clutching and the couch fainting, and I can't believe Brian Daboll said that. Of course they would trade up. They have a bottom 3rd in the league quarterback. Daniel Jones, when you match him up against the rest of the QBs in the league, is not in the top 20 here, guys. So, of course, if you're going to talk about a guy who we all project, Jayden Daniels, as being an elite quarterback, of course you want to try to go get him. This is sports. It's not like Daniel Jones doesn't know there are players better than him and that your team, if you were an athlete, is going to go try to get the best players. So I thought this was a little bit of sound and fury and not a lot there, but I do think that the Giants need to figure out something here because the offensive line, it's improved. It hasn't improved enough for someone like Daniel Jones to overcome it. I like that they replaced Saquon Barkley with the vet, but I don't think he's as good as Saquon. So therefore, that's going to put more pressure on Daniel Jones and the passing game. I just think defensively, you lose Xavier McKinney. That is going to put the offense in worse field position and going to make Daniel Jones'
But they picked up Brian Burns from Carolina.
They did. But look, they've
Cowboys wanted him.
But he's legit, man.
Right?
He's a game changer. Go ahead.
They've got road games this year in Seattle, in Philadelphia, against the Cowboys. I just think Daniel Jones is not the guy that you're confident he is going to lead us into battle and win all those big games and come up in the big moments. Of course you want to replace him with someone better. But to your point, it's who they've got. They've got an out after this year, and they'll have to see. I mean, the Giants are projected to, what, win 7 games this year right now?
Yeah. And when you talk about free agency, there's a reason that the quarterbacks never hit free agency if you're the guy. You don't hit free agency.
Unless maybe
Unless you're Dak Prescott.
You don't hit free agency.
We'll see. But go ahead. I understand your point. You just don't.
You just don't.
It doesn't happen.
You're like, if you're Kirk Cousins, yeah, you hit free agency because they like, we ain't giving you $100 million no more. We did that already. So you hit free agency.
They did that and did it again.
Yeah, and so when you're a top dog, they just don't do it like that.
Okay, but just remember, when the Giants gave Daniel Jones his money, and he makes $40 million a year, which ranks 12th among quarterbacks. So it's not like huge. It wasn't like Kirk Cousins' money when he got his money.
Starting quarterback, real starting quarterback money in the National Football League.
Okay. Daniel Jones 2 years ago went 9-6-1 as the starter. He was 6th in the league in QBR. That's really good because he was 15 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. Now, the 15 is pretty low, but the 5 is really, really low.
He ain't throwing the ball, Skip.
Okay? But he led the league in interception percentage versus touchdown passes. So they got all the way to a playoff game against Kirk Cousins, up in Minnesota. And Daniel Jones went up there and lit him up. He goes 24 of 35 for 301. This is a playoff game at Minnesota, and they had a decent defense. It wasn't a bad defense. It was decent. For 301, 2 touchdowns and no interceptions, and he ran the ball in that playoff game at Minnesota 17 times for 78 yards because he could run a little bit.
He's not a bad runner.
He's not a bad runner.
He's not a bad runner. Pick up his feet.
Okay, so then they turn right around and go to Philadelphia, and the Eagles were on fire on the way to a Super Bowl. They almost won, and they got bum rushed, man. They got boat raced. It was bad, and he was terrible. He was 15 of 27 for 135, no touchdowns and a pick. He had a QBR of 12, which is on a scale of 0 to 100 is laughably bad, and they lost 38-7. But they had won the game at Minnesota 31-24 because of him. So they said, okay, here's your money.
Yeah, you have to.
Because you kind of feel like can we do much better than this?
Available.
Yeah, right.
So you can't. Well, you want Mitch Trubisky? Like, what do you want?
Yeah,
right.
He's better than Mitch Trubisky.
Exactly. So you have to pay him for those couple years at the 12th spot at $40 million a year.
Okay.
That's it. Now, it's a big year for him. Skip, if he goes out there and he plays extremely well, they'll go to that 24 and 26 contract years and tear it up, push some of that money forward, extend him out a little bit more.
Yeah.
He can help himself.
Okay.
He can. He's got to stay healthy, though, too.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Because that's one of the other big things.
ACL tear,
and he's injury prone. I mean, it's beyond that, right? I mean, we've seen multiple injuries with him.
You know what knocked out of him
well,
because of the offensive line, and he takes off running.
And the offensive line, again, it's improved.
And he doesn't
Has it improved?
He doesn't get down. He tries to run over linebackers.
Yes.
Okay, so Keyshawn, as you well know, just about everything that comes out of my mouth on this show,
about the Cowboys.
I'm saying it through metallic blue lens glasses, right? And I defend Daniel Jones, and then I sort of sit back and slap myself.
Week 1, we went up there and won 50-0, blah, blah, blah.
But I defend him because we are, or let me say, he is 1-6 against us. 1-6, and the one time he beat us was at the end of the 2020 year when we went 6-10. The final road game we lost up at Meadowlands against Daniel Jones, and the immortal Andy Dalton was our quarterback. So it's like that's all. And we did go up there to start the year last year, and we beat him 40-0 in that
40,
game.
I said 50-40.
Yeah.
Felt like 50.
It was 40-0, and in that game, he threw for 104 yards and had a QBR of 9 in that game. So maybe I defend him because I love him. You know, like I need him to stay there. I need 2 wins
the punching bag?
because I'm not sure we can beat anybody else in the division. Listen, Washington is starting to scare me because they're looking more and more legit. And if your guy is your guy, if he is that guy,
I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna scare you a little bit more, Skip. I call myself an instant evaluator. I have very good.
No, you do.
You know, I can see. I watched enough clips of him over the last couple of weeks in camps.
Yep.
He's gonna be all right.
Okay.
Y'all in trouble.
Yeah.
With him and Jayden Daniels at the quarterback position, y'all in trouble.
Okay, and obviously,
and if they pick up Brandon Ayuk in a trade, that's going to be even more trouble.
I do not believe the 49ers will trade him.
I don't know if they will or they won't. Depends on what you're giving me.
Okay.
Everything is for sale.
But did you see Ayuk's TikTok the other day?
No.
He put on his social media some some Commanders. I grew up in Washington,
That's
D.C.
okay.
It takes
Everybody makes that mistake.
takes a long time to get over this.
Me too.
He put up Commanders practice film. He put that up on his TikTok.
So he's getting ready to fight his way out.
Oh, I mean, he's already asked for a trade.
Yeah, but everybody asks for a trade. That doesn't mean they're going to trade you. They always ask for. Deebo Samuel asked for a trade, and guess what?
Yes.
He plays for the 49ers.
Yes. But yes, there's no question that either way, the Redskins are going to be the Commanders.
When you start to take the approach that Brandon Ayuk has taken with whatever, scrubbing your social media, putting up another team's stuff, and openly talking about teams that you want to play for, it kind of burns a little bit to the organization, and they say, you know what, we can find that guy. And they drafted a receiver, too.
They drafted him in the first round?
Yeah, so I wouldn't be shocked if he would be a 49er.
Okay. Well,
because he was at Arizona
if he was
State.
A commander?
I mean, I'm a commander.
Yeah,
Remember, he
none
was
of us
at
today.
Arizona State with Jayden Daniels.
Yeah.
He was.
So there's a relationship that's
yeah.
there. So I wouldn't be shocked.
Okay.
But
so,
wouldn't you trade Jayden Daniels for Daniel Jones if you could just snap your fingers?
yeah. Would I do it right?
So
Sure,
why
I
are we
would.
so
Okay.
crazy that
yeah.
Daboll said that? I mean, I don't
Well, because
under-
you just gave a quarterback
Well, you didn't just give it to him. It's not like you gave it to him this offseason.
But a year ago.
I know.
You gave him $140 million and $90+ million of real money, guaranteed money, and you're talking openly about trading up